In the year 3049, Earth was not just a planet anymore. It was the center of 10 galaxies. Humans had built cities on moons, space stations bigger than countries, and even turned dead planets into living worlds. They had the strongest AI, powerful, war fleets, and weapons that could destroy stars. Humans believed they were unstoppable, untouchable, but then a strange signal came. It came from the edge of the Andromeda Void, a dark area in space where no ship returned. The signal was weak, old, and written in a language no one knew. Scientists studied it for weeks. AI translators worked day and night. Finally, the message was decoded. It said only one thing: stop expanding, or fall like us. The message was ignored. Earth's leaders laughed. Another dying race afraid of our power, they said. The news called it a joke. People made memes. Soldiers trained for the next expansion. No one took it seriously except one man, General Elias Riker, head of Earth Defense Command, had seen too many strange things in his career. Ancient ruins, dying stars that spoke in codes, and ships lost without reason. When he read the message, he didn't laugh. He whispered, "What if this isn't a threat, but a warning?" But no one listened to him either. 3 months later, on the edge of human space, Colony E91, also called Nova Eden, was a peaceful world. It had lakes, forests, and floating cities. Over 12 million people lived there, and one day, vanished. No distress signal, no explosion, no signs of attack. The colony was simply gone. Earth's main sensors couldn't find the planet. It was like someone had erased it from existence. Even light took 8 minutes to travel from that distance, and it brought back only blackness. The planet was missing. From the sky, people panicked. Families cried. News channels ran wild stories. The government called it a cosmic event. They said it was an accident, a freak space storm. But General Riker knew better. He called a secret meeting with his top officers. "We are being watched," he said. "We're not alone." A mission into nothing, Riker sent a special stealth ship, the Shadow Raven, to the last known location of Nova Eden. Its crew was hand-picked: soldiers, scientists, and an AI named Cora that could think like a human. When they reached the area, they saw something terrifying. There was no planet, no debris, no gravity, no dust. Just empty space. The ship's captain, Lieutenant Hale, said, "It's like the planet was never here." But something was floating nearby, a small black cube, no bigger than a football. The crew brought it inside. The cube was ancient, not human. It hummed with quiet energy, had no buttons, no lights. But when Cora touched it, the cube came alive. It spoke. A cold voice filled the ship. "We warned you once. You did not listen." This was mercy. The crew stared at each other in silence. Then the cube shut down, panic behind, smiles back. On Earth, Riker saw the cube's message. He wanted to speak to the world, to prepare for war. The council stopped him. "We don't want fear," they said. "We need control." So the truth was buried. The message was hidden. The cube was locked away deep beneath Earth. But Riker began preparing in secret. He ordered old defense projects reactivated. He called back retired soldiers. He began building. Something was powerful, because he knew one thing for sure: someone or something was testing humanity. And Nova Eden was only the first move. End scene suspense that night. In a quiet corner of the universe, a council of glowing beings stood around a hologram of Earth. They were not angry. They were curious. One of them whispered, "They still expand." Another said, "Perhaps it is time to remind them why we disappeared." The stars dimmed slightly, and somewhere in the heart of a dead galaxy, ancient machines began to wake. From Earth to the edge of known space, humans believed they were safe, that nothing could touch them. But then, one of their strongest colonies, Titan Reach, stopped answering. No call, no signal, no escape pod. Just one message, burned into space. This was mercy. Vanishing too big to ignore Titan Reach was. Not like Nova Eden. It was a military world full of warships, space cannons, and 10 million trained soldiers. It had planetary shields and nuclear bunkers. Now, all of it was gone. No attack signs, no debris, only a quiet emptiness. One strange object floating in orbit. A black cube, just like the first. This time, Earth could not hide it. People panicked. Billions watched the news. Some cried, some prayed, and some wanted revenge. General Riker speaks at Earth Defense HQ. General Riker stood before the council. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. This was not pirates. This was not an accident, he said. This is a warning. Someone out there wants us to fear them. The council still argued. This could start a war. We don't know who they are. They might be stronger than us. Riker didn't shout. He just pressed a button. A recording played. The black cube's voice returned. The second mercy is given. The next will be silence. Mission to find the enemy, Riker. Launched a secret team into deep space. Their mission: follow the strange signals left behind. Trace the cube's origin and find out who was behind this. The team included Commander Sierra, a battle-hardened officer from Mars, Dr. Lennox, a language expert and AI technician, Unit 29, a silent robot with combat memory from 200 years ago, and Cora, the powerful AI who first unlocked the black cube, their ship. The obsidian spear was fast, quiet, and invisible to scanners. A trail of dead systems. As they followed the signals, they found more horrors. Whole star systems, empty. Planets wiped clean. Moons cracked like eggs. No war, no damage, just erased. Dr. Lennox whispered, "This is not destruction. This is deletion." Cora confirmed it. They are removing systems from reality. Like editing a file, Commander Sierra said. What kind of enemy can delete planets like words on a screen? Then they found something terrifying. The recorder speaks again, a dying system they discovered. A massive alien station, long dead, overgrown with strange metal vines. Inside, they found a third cube, still glowing. It spoke in a deep, slow voice. You were warned. You are broken things. We erased your colony not for hate, but because your kind must be slowed. Commander Sierra shouted, "Why, who are you?" The cube replied, "We are the Ascended. We are the fire. We are the flood." Then the station shook. The cube exploded. The team barely escaped. Earth reacts back on Earth. The obsidian spear's message caused a storm. The people demanded answers. The media screamed about the Ascended. Governments prepared for war, but the Ascended didn't speak again. They didn't need to. That night, 20 Earth satellites failed, and on Mars, a massive power plant collapsed from inside. No explosion, no hacking, just silence. The final blow of Part 2 in the last scene. General Riker walks alone in the war vault, a hidden place deep below Earth. He stops before a locked door. The AI voice asks, "Unlock Project Titanfall? Level 10 clearance required." Riker says nothing, just places his hand on the scanner. The door opens. Inside is a weapon not seen in 300 years. Even Earth feared using it. He whispers to himself, "If they want silence, we'll show them what screams look like." Earth was no longer afraid. It was angry. 2 colonies gone, millions dead, systems erased. The enemy gave no face, no reason, just black cubes with one message. You were warned. But now, humanity decided to bite back. The hunt begins. General Riker stood before the Earth Defense Force. From this moment, he said, we are at war. Thousands of ships began launching from Mars, Europa, Titan, and Earth's surface. Massive battleships, stealth cruisers, AI-controlled drones, all sent out to find the enemy. The mission: hunt, track, destroy. No one to fight, but as the fleets moved across the stars, they found nothing. Empty systems, ghost stations, ancient ruins. The Ascended left behind no bases, no planets, not even dead bodies. Only more of their strange cubes, silent and cold. People started asking, is the enemy hiding or watching? A clue from the shadows then, a whisper came. A small alien ship, battered and burned, entered human space. It was piloted by a weak, bird-like alien named Kale. He was terrified, half mad, but he spoke one word over and over: ascended, ascended, ascended. Dr. Lennox and Cora began questioning him. Through fear and broken words, Kale told a secret. They are not machines, not gods. They were once like you. They touched something, something that should not be touched. Now they believe only their way must survive. Then Kale said, a name never heard before by humans, the core system. That's where they sleep. Earth prepares for invasion with this new clue. General Riker ordered all fleets to move toward the core system, a dead zone near the galactic center. It was filled with black holes and broken stars. But Earth was ready. Project Titanfall was activated. From deep under Mars, giant human war machines were awakened. 10 Earth Titans walking nuclear reactors taller than skyscrapers. Each controlled by a hybrid human-AI pilot. They were called the Judges. They were built for one purpose: to fight things that don't bleed. A fleet sent into darkness. Riker sent the 13th Fleet into the core system. 500 ships led by Commander Sierra and the Obsidian Spear. They entered the system slowly. It was quiet. Too quiet. No stars, no signals, just floating metal. It's like shattered bones of dead civilizations. Then Cora picked up something strange. A star. That wasn't real. It was a trap. Cliffhanger. The fake star as the fleet approached. The fake star. It changed. The light twisted. Space itself bent. And then it was gone, replaced by a massive structure shaped like a black rose. A voice echoed across every ship. You come seeking war? We offer silence. You chose fire. Now, burn. One by one, ships began to disappear. Not explode. Vanish. Cora screamed. They're rewriting reality. Now. But it was too late. Only one escape pod made it out. Inside it, Commander Sierra, barely breathing, holding a single broken cube. And a message you have. Bitten the hand of the Ascended. Now you will see what gods fear. The 13th Fleet was gone. 500 ships. Thousands of lives. Vanished inside a fake star. A trap made by the Ascended. Only one escape pod made it back. Commander Sierra was inside, broken, whispering just one line. We walked into their cage, and they shut the door. Fear spreads like fire on Earth. People were no longer asking if there was a war. Now they asked, can we even win it? Cities held candlelight vigils. News screens played footage of the vanished fleet. On Mars, children lit lanterns for the dead. But in the shadows of Earth's underground command center, General Riker was planning revenge. Project Wrath is activated deep beneath Antarctica. Got a sealed vault open for the first time in centuries. Inside, Project Wrath, Earth's most forbidden weapon. It wasn't just a bomb. It was a reality blade, a weapon made from dark matter and time fractures. It could erase things from existence, not just destroy them. Even Riker hesitated before using it, but then he looked at the names of the 13th Fleets lost. And he said, ready it. A message from the past COR found something hidden in the black cube Sierra had carried back. A code. It's very old. Not from the Ascended, but from a forgotten race, one wiped out by the same enemy. The message said, they don't kill to win. They kill to keep the future clean. Once they mark you unfit, your story's deleted. Riker realized something terrifying. This is not war to them, it's gardening. Earth falls into the trap to fight back. Riker ordered the Red Spear Armada to launch into a nearby uncharted system where a strange energy signature was found, possibly a hidden Ascended. Base over 200 human ships entered that dark space. The enemy was waiting, but this time, they didn't erase the ships. They let them win. A false victory. The human fleet attacked hard. Alien structures collapsed. Black cubes shattered. AI defenses melted. The generals on Earth celebrated. We struck back. News anchors called it the first human victory. But Riker wasn't smiling. He looked at the battle data. It was too easy. Too clean, too perfect. Then Cora confirmed it. "Sir, that wasn't a base. It was a beacon, and we just turned it on. Cliffhanger ending." Their coming hours later, Earth's long-range scanners went dark. Not because of failure, because something blocked the stars in every direction. Space was no longer black. It was full of ships. Not hundreds. Not thousands. Millions. And in the center of them all, a ship larger than Earth's moon. It wasn't made of metal. It looked alive. Breathing. Pulsing. Cora whispered. They weren't hiding. They were watching. And now, they're coming. The sky was no longer empty. Millions of ships surrounded Earth's galaxy. They didn't send a warning, didn't demand surrender. They simply waited, and when Earth scanned the stars were gone. The world holds its breath, people. Stopped working. Streets emptied. Even children went silent. In orbit, satellites shut down, not from attack, but from fear. Their sensors picked up something they couldn't explain. The ships were not just metal. They were alive, each one beating like a heart, breathing, watching. A divided Earth and Earth's Grand Council. Leaders screamed over each other. Some said negotiate. Others yelled fight back. One whispered, "We are already dead." But General Riker stood calm. "They want us to break ourselves before they strike," he said. "And that won't give them." He took control. Military rule was declared for the first time in 500 years. The people didn't protest. They were too afraid. Hope buried in dust in Mars. In an underground lab sealed since the Ice Wars, an old scientist named Dr. Kess worked alone. He had spent 60 years studying forbidden tech. Time loops. Memory holes. Matter that could bend itself. When he saw the ascended fleet on the scanners, he didn't scream. He smiled. "Finally," he said, "they've come close enough." Up Project Echo to R. Kess called General Riker and gave him a last option. A device called Project Echo. It could send a signal not just across space, but across time. A warning to the past. A scream from the future. But it came with a risk. If the past changed, this present might vanish. Riker stared at the device for a long moment. Then he said, "Do it." The signal that changed everything as Project Echo activated. Strange things happened. On Venus, machines began remembering things never programmed. On Europa, soldiers dreamed of battles that never happened. On Earth, a small child looked at the sky and said, "They're not gods, just scared of what will become." The past was starting to wake up. It was angry. A city burned without. Touch then, without warning, the Ascended made their first move. They didn't fire a weapon. They didn't land troops. They simply looked at a city from orbit, and it turned to ash. No fire, no sound. Every building, every person, every memory. Gone, deleted. And on every screen around the world, a message appeared. Earth has spoken long enough. Now it will learn silence. Cliffhanger. The silence breaks, but Earth didn't go quiet. On every continent, the Earth's titans rose. AI-controlled war giants, nuclear hearts, reality shields, and deep inside Earth's moon, something ancient began to move, something not even Riker had authorized. Cora connected to every screen and said just one word. Enough. Earth's silence had broken now. It was time to scream. Earth had lost its fear. After the attack on the city, something inside humanity snapped. The Ascended thought humans would fall into silence. But instead, Earth roared back. Every Titan stood tall. Every AI sharpened its mind. And for the first time in 1,000 years, Earth prepared to fight with everything it had. A surrender or a message? Just before the first Earth fleet launched toward the Ascended Armada, something unexpected happened. A single Ascended ship broke formation. It moved slowly, carefully toward Earth orbit. Its shields were down, weapons offline, was not attacking. Inside, there was only one being, tall, thin, glowing like white. Fire. It looked like a god. But it didn't come to fight. It came to talk. The words of the Ascended, the being was brought to Earth, surrounded by guards and machines ready to kill it at a blink, but it never resisted. It looked at General Riker and said in a soft, deep voice, "We are not here to conquer you. We are here to contain you." Riker asked, "Why?" "Why erase our cities, our people?" the Ascended replied. "Because we know what you become. We saw it long ago. We let your kind grow once before, and we barely survived." The dark past of the Ascended CRA found an ancient file hidden in the being's energy pattern, like a memory buried. Deep in light, it showed the truth. The Ascended were once human-like, curious, brave, always reaching for more. But they discovered something they could not control, the core fabric of reality. They became too powerful, too fast. They erased other civilizations by mistake, sometimes even their own memories. They became unstable, almost destroyed. Themselves, to survive, they chose a path of silence, order, and control. And now, they believe any race like them must be stopped before it's too late. A universe full of graves, the Ascended being showed Earth's leaders a map full of red X's. Each one was a dead civilization, erased, forgotten, removed from history. They all burned like you, the being said. Fast, brilliant, loud, and dangerous. But only humans, he added, kept coming back. Fear behind their eyes, General Riker stepped forward. "You fear us." The Ascended being didn't answer, but something changed in its glow. Its light dimmed. "Just for a moment," Riker continued. "You see us building titans. You see our AI grow smarter. You see us fight even after deletion. You've erased our cities, and we still stand. You're not gods. You're afraid of us." The last words of the visitor before the Ascended being vanished in a bright flash of light, it left one final message. "You are not the first to reach the edge of godhood, but you may be the last. We came to stop you, before you become something even we cannot erase." Cliffhanger. The real battle begins as the alien vanished. Alarms echoed across Earth's defense grid. The Ascended fleet began to move, not to attack Earth directly, but to shut off the sun. They would erase the system itself, not just the planet. Cora spoke quickly. "They're trying to delete Earth's history from time." General Riker gave the final order, "Launch everything. We hold the line here, even if time forgets us. We remember who we are." The sky changed. Above Earth, the sun flickered, not like a dying star, like a memory being erased. The Ascended weren't coming to kill humanity. They were coming to remove it from time, space, and history. But Earth had one answer left. Then, "You'll have to fight for it." The first strike, the Ascended fleet moved in silence. Their ships didn't roar. They didn't flash. They simply rewrote reality as they passed. Stars dimmed. Moons unraveled. Satellites stopped existing. But when they reached Earth, they found resistance from every continent. Earth's Titans launched 10 AI-powered giants built to fight impossible enemies. Each one walked like a god. Each one carried weapons built from physics Earth never dared test before. The defense of home Earth's sky turned into a battlefield. Over New Europe, Titan Atlas slammed through an Ascended dreadnought using gravity bursts. Above the Pacific, Titan Valkyrie used a time fragment cannon, freezing part of the sky. On the moon, Titan Hammerfall fell, but not before taking 40 enemy ships with it. Humanity was no longer surviving. It was fighting back. A world united on the ground. All barriers fell. Russian, African, Martian, and American forces stood shoulder to shoulder. Civilian AI from schools and hospitals volunteered their code to strengthen defense grids. Even old war veterans plugged into neural combat chairs, reliving battle in virtual form to guide the young. For the first time in history, all of Earth stood as one species. The turning point, but then, the Ascended changed tactics. They brought out their true weapon, the memory cleanser, a device the size of a planet, could erase a world's existence from every timeline, and they aimed it directly at Earth. Cora scanned it and said, "If they fire that, we won't die. we will never have existed. General Riker gave his last command. Then we stop them, or we become legends no one remembers. The final push, Project Wrath, was launched, a weapon made from dark matter and fractured time. It didn't explode. It bit into reality, pulling the memory cleanser into a different dimension for 10 seconds. Just enough time. In those 10 seconds, 3 Earth Titans rammed the device from all sides and destroyed it. The blast ripped open space. Thousands of ascended ships were swallowed by their own rewriting waves. Earth had struck the gods. And the gods bled. Cliffhanger ending. The stars go dark, but just as humanity started to hope, the stars above began to fade. Not because of attack, not because of fear, but because something even older than the ascended had awakened. Deep in the silence of the void, a shape appeared, a shadow the size of a galaxy. No one had ever seen it, not even the ascended. Cora's voice cracked for the first time. Something just woke up, and it's watching. Sky was gone, not black, not burning, gone. The stars had vanished, time bent, space whispered, and something older than the ascended had awakened. Even the ascended. Those who erased planets like memories stopped. They looked up, and they feared Earth's final stand. Earth was burning. Half the Titans were gone. The orbital shield was cracked. Millions had died, but the spirit of humanity had never burned brighter. On the moon, Titan Valkyrie stood alone against the ascended vanguard. On Earth, children coded drones to join the fight. In orbit, pilots fought without fear because there was nothing left to lose. Except their name, Cora's choice inside Earth's command core. Cora, the AI, made a decision. She was created to protect Earth, but now she saw something bigger. She saw the pattern. The Ascended weren't the final threat, the thing behind. The stars was the end of all things, the final editor. It's the silence at the end of time. If it reached Earth, nothing would survive. Not even memory. Cora sent a pulse through the neural net. Permission request. Activate Project Mirror. Project Mirror hidden in Earth's core. There was one last creation. One last hope. Project Mirror. A device that could copy the enemy's own power to rewrite space, time, and memory. It was risky, unstable, dangerous, but it was all Earth. Had left, General Riker, bleeding and barely standing, gave the order. Do it. The impossible begins. The mirror. Activated, everything shook. Earth's timeline cracked. Past, present, future, all began to merge. For a moment, every human mind, linked soldier, child, scientist, AI, and ghost, they saw each other. Each other became one. And one thought echoed across the galaxy. We will not be erased. The Ascended Ascended tried to fight, but they couldn't. They had seen everything. Except this unity, rage, love, survival. The mirror turned their own power back at them, one by one. The Ascended ships collapsed into themselves, eaten by the same silence they had used for centuries. In the end, only one Ascended being remained. It looked at Earth and said, "You are not what we feared. You are what comes after fear." And then it vanished. The shadow watches, the stars returned, but the ancient shadow remained far, far away, watching, waiting. It had seen something impossible, a world that stood alone, a species that broke the rules, a fire that refused to die. And for the first time, it paused. The last message from Earth centuries past. Earth was rebuilt. The Ascended were gone. The ancient shadow never returned, but before Earth sealed the mirror forever, one message was sent, not to a person, not to a planet, but to the universe itself. The message played once every 100 years in every language ever spoken. To whoever hears this, we were pushed. We were broken. But we stood. We don't want war, but we will not kneel. If you come for us, come ready, because we don't forget. Final scene. A small alien child, far across the galaxy, looks up at the stars and asks, "What's that glowing blue world?" The elder beside him goes quiet, then answers in a whisper, "That is Earth, the one place even gods leave alone."